Hi, I'm Eric Baum, the founder and CEO of Bluleadz, and welcome to Ask Inbound, your chance to ask any inbound related questions and get real answers. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how to make marketing and sales play nicely together. We get this question a lot throughout the inbound marketing process. You know, we work a lot with companies that outsource their inbound marketing services to us, and we generate a lot of leads. And what happens throughout that process is that their sales doesn't really understand and haven't been trained on how to best deal with the leads that they're getting in from the inbound marketing process. There's a disconnect between the two, right? So we as inbound marketers go out and we give all this free information to leads and visitors and prospects. They download ebooks and white papers and videos and all that kind of things. And then when sales steps in, they tend to be entrenched in their old ways, and they start hammering them with phone calls and trying to close a deal and not creating that same sort of warm, transparent environment that we have created with inbound marketing, and there's a huge disconnect. So there's a couple different ways to remedy that situation, right? And create a seamless process, one that a lead goes from a lead to a sales qualified lead to a customer in a very nice way. So the first way to deal with this is create what's called an SLA, a sales level agreement, and that's determining with the marketing department and the sales department what actually qualifies as a sales qualified lead. So that sales says, hey, you know what, these are really good quality leads, they're ready to talk to us, they're ready to move forward. There's no, hey, those leads are terrible and they are not expecting to hear from us at this point, and they're just terrible leads, that's why we can't close them, right? And marketing says, no, these are really qualified leads, they've done all these things, but when it gets to sales, they don't get closed, right? So they keep blaming each other throughout that process. And we want to remove that excuse, so to speak. So the first thing is for sales and marketing to establish what are the criteria for a sales level agreement. And it may be they've downloaded a certain number of ebooks, they've visited these particular pages, they've had this level of engagement throughout the site, and raised their hand and said, I want a free consultation or free marketing review or whatever it may be. That triggers them into the sales qualified lists, and sales can then follow up. The second big component is making sure that as inbound marketers, we train the sales team, right? We sit down with them and say, these are the leads that are coming through. Here's the process that they've gone through from the first time they visited your site all the way to the time we hand them over to you. And at that stage, here's what you should do with them. And that's creating a workflow. So it goes through the various steps of the process, email, phone call, and it's also making sure that you as an inbound marketer provide your sales team with what we call content library. All of the resources that your sales team can use to leverage and send to that prospect throughout the process based on what the prospect's interests are, based on what their activity has been on your site. So there's no disconnect. An example of that is if a prospect downloads an inbound marketing ebook on our page, and they are interested about generating more leads, then one of our sales teams can say, hey, we've got these blog posts that are related to generating more traffic, to converting those leads into sales for you through this case study, and they have access to all that information and can send it out through the appropriate time. They know when to send it out based on actions that have happened on the website, and they know what their next step is. So if you train your sales team properly and they're properly aligned with the inbound marketing process, you will not only generate a ton of leads, but you will also turn those into a ton of customers and sales through that process. Thanks again for tuning in today, and remember, if you've got a question about inbound marketing, hit us up at #AskInbound.